take a moment to foreground our breath in whatever shape or variety or technique that we discover our breath. We use a technique to remember our breath. Sometimes we just remember breath. The breath has a wonderful way of reaching and connecting to our more mind-oriented, intentional, visional capacities, awareness. It has a wonderful way of reaching into the physical, our behaviors, our enactments. That's just one reason we start with the breath, so we can touch all the places. Feel for softening the abdomen. The area between the hip bones receives breath. Breath has a descending quality in the body, as well as this ascending, lifting the chest, reaching the throat and the head. We might have to give a little extra noticing one direction, that they start to feel equally touched, reached. In this practice, we have the ability to move toward or inquire into who are we most deeply. Also, we have the tools here to inquire into our conditioning, very different facets of self. I'm going to suggest that we do some deliberate exhalations. I'm just using my fingertips and touching this area between the hip bones and almost the navel. Right in here. And so this is where a lot of the, I'd say the epicenter, perhaps, of movement and activity will be for our exhale. Let's start, I'll say inhale, so inhale of any count, of any duration, and we'll take a 10 count exhale. We'll take a 12 count exhale, 14 count exhale. So unknown or uncounted inhale, 10 count exhale. Undetermined inhale, 12 count exhale. Undetermined inhale, 14 count exhale. Now the series, you just stop along the way wherever you need. We'll have a few moments to play with that. There's no bonus points to exhaling longer first. So, here we go. In lengthening the breath, there's a refinement of the motor, the enactment grows finer and finer. The longer breath isn't necessarily a function of willpower. My opinion, it's a function of refinement, discernment, openness. A willingness to let ourselves feel what's present. Whether it's nervousness or indigestion or contentment, whatever shows up. Take a couple more breath rounds. It doesn't matter what count that you're on, the suggestion, the framework. Just gradually lengthen the exhale. Let's extend or straighten the right leg out. I'm going to place my ankle behind my hip, but you always have that alternate placement of heel in front of groin. You'd make that selection based off of just your hip, your knee, your ankle. With my foot behind my hip, I'm pointing my foot. Some people will flex it, make a little check mark using point. It's more the top of my foot is on the ground, but it's all sorts of variety setups. Chest opener. Inhale, stretch the arms out to the side. For side, I mean my right arm over my right leg. And exhale, reach forward like a triangle. Reach the ribs forward. Simply place the hand down. We're supporting that lengthy right side of ribs. I try to get as close to the ground as I can. Sometimes the ribs get crowded and bunched up. Now inhale, taking the left arm upward, spreading the hand bones, and exhaling, reaching back. And side bend. Inhale, smoothly move the left arm overhead. Feel breath moving through the side, the abdomen, as well as the ribs. If we focus only on the ribs, we might tend, depending on our conditioning, our patterns, we might tend to brace in the gut area. But if we feel the guts, the abdomen yielding, we can feel breath in the lower torso, the upper torso. Inhale, we'll use the left hand to either pull the torso up or just walk the torso up. But we'll exit that side and we'll change sides. We'll set the left leg out. And you decide how you want to bend your right leg. Heel by butt or heel by groin. Inhale, reaching arms out to side, left arm over left leg. Exhale, lean left, reach left, ribs left. Set the left hand down, support those ribs in their lengthy, breathable architecture. Raise the right arm till it feels fine on the chest and the shoulder. While we usually face the palm in the same direction as your chest, you need to turn the palm, rotate the shoulder, find a new angle. That's give a lot of creative potential to look, to maneuver around, to feel within. And moving into side bend, smoothly move the right arm over. Inhale. That right arm, either help draw the torso up or walk the torso up. But up we go. Let's lie on our back. Let's just do a little bit of abdominal. Just getting a little more abdominal back breathing going. We can consider these ground-based kind of breathing movements just enhancing backside breathing, enhancing the feeling of pelvic, abdominal breathing. Just letting that the emphasis grow. Bring feet off ground. Knees over hips. Inhale, float the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. Allow the head to relax in the hands, curl tailbone. Now exhale, reach out through the left leg, and while spreading the foot bones and the toes, feel through the ball mounds and feel that the inner ball mounds get as much liveliness as the outer ball mounds. Ooh, low belly in, down. Inhale, left knee bend. Curling tail. Exhale, right leg out, reach. Fan the foot bones, the toe bones. Feel that there's feeling throughout all the ball mounds. Ooh, low belly in and down. Do a handful more. Inhale, right knee bend. Just talk through one more. Roll tailbone. Exhale, left leg reach. Take those elbows, lift, reach them toward the right thigh. Sink the low abdomen. All that gathering between the hip bones toward the navel. Inhale, left knee bend. Roll tail, exhale, right leg out, reach. All the ball mounds, all the foot, toe. Feel the bones move, the joints spread, pull, low belly in. All right, let's do 3 more aside. Own pace. And after those few we're going to do our some inner leg stuff a little differently today. I want to show you the setup. I'm using 2 blocks, and I'll offer direction for if you only have 1 block. Ideally, these blocks aren't going to hop around. Now, usually we would get a roll between our legs. Here, different. I'm going to lie on my ribs. My ground leg is behind the blocks. So that means I'm placing my top leg on the blocks. I'm using a wall just for stability. Again, just so these things don't shoot out, my foot can touch the wall, and the orientation of my foot and my body can have a sense of just being put. So I've lined them up pretty tall. That matches my leg height nicely. And you'll see this middle block is just on the thigh side of my knee. Right there. So I have an ankle block. I have an inner leg block. And this is how we're going to get the inner leg squeeze will occur in a downward action. And we'll just go through the sequence, the breathing sequence, and the squeezing sequence that we would otherwise go through abs with a roll. I'll just start to talk through it and just, I know you're getting your props into place. I'm resting my ribs and just letting my head be comfortable. Inhale into low back and low abdomen. One detail is my pelvis faces the horizon. At the top of inhale, just squeeze my top leg, which for me is my left leg, down toward the ground, into the blocks. Just letting that light up the back of the butt and what have you. And now exhale, squeezing, letting my inner foot just feel pressure on the wall. Doesn't have to be a ton. Ooh, low belly in. And just simply relax the pressures, the squeezes as you inhale. So yesterday in class, I got the distinct pleasure and honor of getting to people's inner ankles and helping them discover the deep, deep inner thigh. So we're just all doing it with props today. At the top of inhale, push your inner ankle onto the block. Press your inner thigh down onto that block. As you're exhaling, just feel how the foot can touch the wall. Is it the outer foot? Is it the inner foot? Do you have choice? Does it have anything to do with the deep inner thigh? You feel the buttock by the sit bone turning on? Pull low belly in if you really like. And inhales, relaxing all the pressures. And we transition into exhale. Find the way to press ankle into block, inner thigh into block, and then involve the buttock muscle. That's the left butt. It's inside that sit bone, that deep inner hamstring, inner groin area. You can get that muscle to spark on a little bit. I'll do one more. Inhales, letting go. And exhaling is the squeeze. Patient exhale, so you have plenty of squeeze opportunity. That squeeze and opportunity. Smush together. And we'll release and we'll do the other side. I love the squeezing of the object with the legs, but this one will kind of break out. By break out, I mean create distinction around the sides of the pelvis and the hams and the legs. So I've noticed a lot of my turning sport athletes, people who golf and swing things and turn around in circles. The leg and the groin development is so vastly different. So here's the other leg. It would be my right leg or The blocks are under the ankle, the inner foot, and the thigh just above the knee. And we're lying on the side. We'll take about, I think we did about 4 breaths. Stand up. And one more detail. The ground leg, I set behind the block. Inhaling into the abdomen, into the back. And through the exhale, deliver the ankle down into the block, the inner thigh down into the block. You might notice some of your weight feels lighter. It starts to almost lift. Press through the whole foot or reach or feel through the whole foot. Can you feel the inner foot and the outer foot? You feel that deep inner thigh? We'll take 3 more breaths. It's just inhale and squeeze on exhale. Inhale. Exhale, pressing down. Ankle. Now notice if you feel the thigh press more than the ankle. Notice if you feel the ankle pressing more than the thigh. Take a couple more breath moments, just playing around with it. Also notice that you're involving the groin and the deep butt near the sit bone. If you feel yourself clenching more globally, like genital clenching or butt clenching generally, try to be discriminating. Just the ankle, the inner thigh, right up to the sit bone area. I do this lying down entirely rather than propped up. Then we'll call that good and done. We'll move our mat away. I want to do some dolphin if that's good by you. With the elbows, knees. We did some slightly different movements with the forearms yesterday. That hopefully helped us turn that serratus on. Why we want that serratus is when the shoulder blade moves with that muscle help, often the trapezius doesn't have to work quite as rigorously around the neck. And exhale the knees off the ground. So with those freshly tuned up inner legs, imagine or sense as if both inner legs can be felt from that deep inner groin to the ankle to the inner part of the foot. Inhale, raise the left foot away from the ground. And exhale, reach to that exact same leg line that we just had the blocks help us find, the inner leg line. You feel from the sit bone, the deep inner groin, inner thigh, inner ankle, the inner foot. Not that the outer foot doesn't matter. It's sometimes we give a little extra dose of activity to the areas of the body that might just be a little more or less visited. We'll see. When a move like this, if you notice you're spiraling the toes out and you're trying to lift it higher, I get to that inner leg. Leg might not go as high, but I think you'll find there's a lot of back support there. All right, let's trade sides. We'll bring the left foot down. And right side. Just hunting around. Where's the inner leg in this configuration? Is that something that can be felt, maintained? One deep breath into the back, into the abdomen, just making sure we're not holding our breath or holding our ribs. Here we go. And we'll set that right foot down to the ground. We'll place the knees down softly. Gentle landing. And we'll slip the hands under shoulders. And on exhale, downward dog. We're going to do a miniature pyramid. What that means, leave the hands as they are and step one foot about 6 inches forward, almost heel to toe. Now one or both of the heels might be off the ground, on the ground. Now we'll step that foot back. The other foot will step forward like a teeny weeny pyramid. Now we'll step that one back. All right, lunge, inhale, left foot forward. And we'll place the right knee down just for the moment. If you need something for your hands, blocks, props, what have you. Back toes curled under, exhale the knee off the ground. This is where that inner leg and that ankle all come back into play. Foot, inner ankle, inner calf, inner knee, inner groin, inner ham, right up to the sit bone, right up to the butt muscles. And if all of that's starting to get confidently, reliably lit up, and you want to bring your hands to your thighs, bring your arms up overhead, you've got a lot of leg help in that endeavor. Deepening breath. It's glorifying breath, like, oh my gosh, alive. Oh my gosh, confirmed, alive. We're going to shift that right heel down to the ground, warrior one. Now again, maybe it touches the ground, maybe not, but all of that inner leg kind of discovery applies. Twisting warrior. Exhale the right elbow over the left thigh. Now, for those of you setting your feet more widely apart than traditional, going for a wide stance, finding that inner leg might prove more challenging. That inner leg, to me, just my find, is a little more findable when my feet are like hip width, or even narrower if I'm going narrower. You know, in the traditional, the light on yoga approach, the feet have an alignment, and then we'll often separate them a little wider just to accommodate our hip differences. But if you're going even wider than that, the inner leg part might get a little fuzzy or lost. Some considerations. Twisting warrior interlock. I'm going to keep the right knee up if I can. You can set it down if you need. On exhale, slide the right armpit down. And left hand behind back. Here you can link up with clothing or hands. Release. Inhaling, unwind. Step your right foot forward. Come to standing. Just standing pigeon. We'll be grabbing the left foot. So, this is right about when you might be making a decision. Oh, I need to go over to a wall and lean against it. Maybe, maybe not. So if you're getting into pigeon and kind of steadying yourself while holding a leg, great. I'm going to just take a step laterally. If you're already like pining for the wall, pause for a moment and do this with me. Just making a little circle with my left foot in the air. It's going to be a great, just enough amount of perturbation where you're going to get some reflexive. If you want to make this more challenging for yourself, don't make the circles bigger. Just look at something over off on the right, and turn your eyes, just look at something off on the left. Don't do it too fast, don't get dizzy. But just move your eyes around as you're circling that left foot. It would be like a nice pigeon alternative, so you're not like running for the wall and clamping onto something or leaning. The leaning doesn't really get us too much. Gives us something, but not a lot. All right, pigeon is concluded. Set the feet down. Inhale, we'll set the hands down, stepping the feet back into plank. Exhale, lower, abdomen to earth. Shift the tail toward the earth. Those are those inner hamstrings. Not a butt clench, it's not an anal clench. It's those ham muscles. Inhale, cobra. The back is free. Exhale, lower, and downward dog. All right, lunge. We'll do the other side. Inhale the right foot forward, the left knee, the left heel off the ground. Place the hands wherever. Kind of charging up from that inner foot contact, the inner ankle, that inner leg, thigh, deep groin, feeling, tracking that through kind of inside the sit bone there. And if all of that turns on and you feel great support, go ahead, reach those arms up and lunge. Why not? The leg is roasty toasty supporting us. Feel that deepening of breath, that descent of breath into the abdomen, that billowing ascent of breath into the chest, backside, the front side. Exploring our energetic capacities. We'll pivot and place that left heel on or near the ground. This is where the foot alignment will kind of come into play a little bit. Feel for that inner leg line. We move into twisting warrior, exhaling the left elbow over the right thigh. What I'll often notice in a room of people, moving from warrior to twisting warrior, is there's kind of a relenting, kind of a giving, forgetting of the left leg, involving that inner leg and then moving into the twist, feeling, sensing that leg support. We kind of drop, forget, and we get to the next pose. It's like we have to recompose everything. It's a little bit of a house of cards, and we keep rebuilding and collapsing, building and collapsing. And that's kind of not the vinyasa way. Support leads to support. Here we go into interlock. So maintain that wonderful inner leg line. Now as we stretch that left elbow toward the ground, getting that armpit nearer to the thigh, reaching that right arm behind the back. Wonderful parts in the transition. There you go. Yes. That left arm, it's active, it's self-supporting because it's pressing on that thigh. If you're just crowding and collapsing that shoulder, notice, press, get more support, more lightness in the shoulder. Great. Deep breath, one deep. Open up the hands. Inhale, place them under your shoulders. Exhale, chaturanga. So chaturanga is the lowering down, hovering. So inhale, upward dog. Need to lower out of chaturanga and do cobra, that's fine. Exhale, downward dog. Oops, my mistake. Inhale. Let's step feet forward. Almost forgot our standing pigeon. So we do the right side. So our right foot will grab with both hands. If you're already anticipating just wanting to lean on something, try this with me. Standing pigeoners, do your standing pigeon. I'm just going to show you just a little alternative. So I could do this with my foot very low to the ground and just kind of wag it like a windshield wiper, little circles, and do it higher. Doesn't matter where I do it, but if you've locked your eyes into a spot and you're wagging the foot, just turn your head a little bit. Turn your eyes. A lot of our balance does involve our neck, our eyes, that visual there's a pretty big visual component in our sense of balancing. All right, inhale. Let's set that right foot down. Take a pause. I would love to also go upside down this morning. I'll go through downward dog at the wall, and I'd just like to show one little thing. It's an exaggeration so that you can see more easily. I'll do the first version, my leg reaching away, where I'm just like, just trying to reach the legs all every which way. And I'll do this, and then I'll tune it up a little bit so that I can feel those inner legs in the pose. So I'll just show you first way. And there's nothing wrong with this way, where you just kind of reach that foot as far into the air and back there as you think you can go. And now here's with a little more of that. Where's the inner legs? Oops. So hunting around for that feeling of the inner leg, I think you'll feel there's a lot more. The trunk feels more held in the pose. You feel more supported. So let's go like 3-4 breaths per leg reach. And I'll watch and I'll adjudicate how much fun it looks like you're having. If I can't see, I'll just make up an idea. There you go. Whatever we've got, sometimes we're context is what the context is. There you go. And can you feel your breath? Where do you feel your breath? When you do step down, stay near the wall. I'm going to show you a thing. Yes, now this time we will lean against the wall. First, I want to get closer so I can show you what my hands will be doing. It's just a simple interlace, just so I can give my wrists a nice little, like making a little pulling hammock. Cross ankle over thigh. And I'm crouched enough where both my sit are on the ground, almost said ground, wall. I am leaning. This will allow me to sit back, to fold, and to just basket my hands and pull on the interlacing a little bit. Now, if I need my hands to hold onto the ground or a block, then I'll do that. So I'm getting a fold, a little hip release, a little wrist release. Letting the head and neck relax so my brain gets some little fluid wash. All right, we'll switch sides. I'll slide that right foot down. I'm making a figure four. In this case, my right leg, I'm bending it a little bit to kind of catch, and so I can sit back this time. We are sitting on the wall. And then first is the fold. And as we're folding, you'll probably notice, especially if you feel a little snug or tension in the back of your body, you'll notice the eyes and the neck wanting to kind of lift up, look up. At some point, relax the eyes, relaxing the back side of the head and the shoulders. That can be a lot of tension, backside tension, aggregate there. Once you can allow the back of the body to soften toward the ground, you can use the interlacing and just lightly pull on the interlacing. Or to put another way, palm away from palm. It's like a little pulling the basket weave taut. Then releasing the hands, releasing the leg position. And just slither up or down the wall. We'll take Shavasana. So however you want to rest, we'll observe that now. And yes, we are observing rest. We're interacting with quietude, immersing ourselves in kinetic silence. There's an interplay in quietude just as much as there's interplay through action, asana, enactments, movement. If we're going to study movement, impulses, our stretches, our conditioning, tractions, vibration, pulsation, energy. We're going to study movement. We must study silence, stillness. In the wake of action, there's often still a lot of phenomena, subtle movement phenomena. but remains when the action momentarily who is the conductor between movements? When you're ready, bend knees, turn to a side, and press to seated. Namaste. Thank you all.